Welcome to the Delight Your Marriage podcast, the show where you hear from amazing and inspiring wives sharing their struggles, triumphs, and advice for this journey called marriage. Here's your host, Bella Rose.
Hello, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining. If this is your first time with the podcast, I am so grateful that you're joining. I don't know where you are in this wonderful world, but I'm so honored that you're tuning in to my voice and my husband's. So there's a little treat today. You know, I've had many people reach out to me and say, I'd really love to hear from your husband, his advice about this particular situation or just in general. And so he's on today, and we're just prayerful that this is going to be something that gives you encouragement and inspiration today and helps you in your marriage and as you go forward today and this week. So without further ado, we have the expectation that we're always going to re-record if we decide we need to. So you can pick up nuggets from this conversation and you can leave the ones that don't make sense to your particular situation in your life. So, but yeah, I would love to kind of just ask my husband a couple of questions. And he's just, one of the wisest men I know, and I'm super grateful for that. He shakes his head as I said that, but it's true. And he's just got a lot of really great encouragement, I think, for you. That's one of his specialties is encouragement. So honey, I think that we hear from so many husbands and wives through this podcast, but I think I want to start out with husbands. Obviously, you've been on this journey with me for the last over 4 years now with this podcast and before that. And when these men write into me and they describe their situations and just the men you know in your life and your experience with what's going on in marriages, I'm curious if you could kind of give maybe some guidance to them. And it doesn't have to be organized and doesn't have to be thought through. It's just, just some advice that a lot of men miss, and it would be encouraging to them.
Okay. Well, I don't know about the wisest man or about giving advice, because I feel like we all learning. We're all learning in our own way, whether we see other couples, the way that they act towards each other. For all those wives, I believe that you make the right choice to work with Bella, my wife. Sometimes when she feels like, someone is still having some hard time, and then I can see her like, you care about this wife so much that you want them to transform their lives, which you are doing right now. A lot of times that we don't realize a lot of things that we're going through, or we say through to our husbands or wives, but we kept those things, those words that whatever the wife or husband says, and we don't tell them about how we're feeling. One of the things that the other night, I was feeling like all this thing inside, but I feel like, I know that I can tell her with no issues. But then I see my wife start taking notes about how I'm feeling. And to me, it felt very, I don't know, like she really wanted to listen to me. She said, this is very important for me, the way how you're feeling, because otherwise, how do I want to help this woman? So for all your ladies, you're doing the right work. Sometimes it feels like you're going further, like far away. Sometimes you feel like you're getting to understand. I don't know, for husbands, I feel like like the world's kind of like backwards, right? Like constantly husbands emailing to Bella about how they're feeling, about how their wives been treating them, or saying certain words. Wives, they talk to Bella and say about how their husbands improve some things, but they just can't see. I feel like it's like either it's one or the other, but it's not like both of them are this on the same path, on the same balance. That there's always there's I feel like some in our lives, whether we know someone or us, we went through, whether as a child, that we went through some hard times. I don't know, maybe this is out of the question, but I feel like I by myself, when before I met Bella, I was depressed, I was depressed, I was smoking, drinking, and that's when all the friends started coming in. All those things that I'm feeling like I want to end my life because there was no purpose, because life was too painful. But I didn't think about my mom. That this poor woman, that she gave birth to me, that I see my wife, how she gave birth to my two babies, and I'm like, it is very hard, even just to see. I don't know how you all ladies do that, but I keep telling my wife that if every man will give birth to one child, they will understand more of their wives, maybe, but definitely have more compassion. Because I feel like us as a man, we it's hard for us to apologize, even though sometimes we make a mistake, whether we say words or do something, and it's hard because our pride is too high, and we don't want to let ourselves to be less men, if you can say that. And we just whether do something else for their wives, but we cannot say like, you know what, I'm sorry I make this mistake. Please forgive me. I will do my best to honor you. But just say it. And a lot of us, we don't say it. I was telling my wife that sometimes I recorded my voice because I'm listening to her podcast all the time, and I'm learning a lot of things. And those husbands that they email to my wife about all the things that they say, I feel like, man, it is hard. I do not want to be in that position where you are. Whether you lost someone, or you're just in an argument, you're not happy when you get home. Divorce is start mentioning. And I feel like, man, divorce, that is like one of the most stressful things in our lives, because you're not focused about anything. You're not focused about your work, about your family, nor your kids. All you focus about this negative stuff and divorce. And I feel like what happened? What happened? Why that word came up? Divorce. What happened? And of course, you want to start finding like, did I do something wrong? Or, it's because she did something wrong, or I did something wrong. But I feel like God gave you this daughter, your wife, to you. What is it that you did the first time for you to gain her heart? What is it that you did? What is it that you said to her for her to start feeling the inside that this is the man that I've been looking for? And then something happened. What happened? What do you need to do to change some things? Behavior, less angry, And one of the things I feel like we got to be careful with our words. We had to be careful with our words, because sometimes, we don't measure our words. We just say it, and it's too late. If you tell it to your wife, it's already out. And you got to make it up for that. I made a mistakes. I made a mistake all the time. And thank God that Bella is so kind that she talked to me calmly. And I feel like, this is one of the things that I used to feel. Every time we had an argument, I feel like she's want to divorce me and she's want to take my kids away from me. Isn't it like silly the way that I used to think? And I'm like, I don't know. She made me feel so comfortable that I'm like, this is how I'm feeling. Hey, I start crying, this whole thing. But and then she says, honey, I'm so sorry about how you've been feeling this way every time we had those arguments. That means that we really had to break this barrier, especially how you're feeling. I won't leave you for that. You just have, just like any other couple. And I feel like I free myself for being at peace, because I feel like insecure that like, we have argument. I don't like arguments. I don't like, disagreements. And that's my first thing that I feel like she's going to divorce me and take my kids away from me. And because I seen them a lot. I see him on the streets. Wife is yelling to husband. Husband's yelling to wife. Everybody's listening. I'm like, what is the reason they're doing that? Why they're yelling? So we can know their problems. Want to just, can we discuss this in privately? Take a deep breath and say, can we discuss this privately? Because men will not be quiet if you want to scream at him. Because he's not want to feel like he's less than a man. So he's want to start yelling back. I feel like for all this woman, like sometimes my wife's she says like, I know I can help them. But it's just they're not ready to be coached. And I just feel like for this other thing for about the group for husbands, years I feel like we've been talking about this, and it was like, if it's right, it's okay or not, and what the husbands will think about me, all those things. And husbands reach out to Bella. Do you have a program or a course for husbands? Bella says that only for wives, because I feel comfortable. But I feel like husbands, they're so much in pain that I feel like, is it right? I'm like, you can, let's try it, and who knows? They've been asking, and that's what my wife has been reaching out to these husbands, that they emailing to her about their pain. And I feel like I this is what I told Bella about that. Husbands, sometimes our emotions a little more stronger. That sometimes when we're not happy, we say some things that might hurt your feelings. That just to be aware of that, whether they don't see, they don't see and they cannot see and they don't want to see the results. So because they're in pain, they want to say certain words to you. And I feel like even if you're trying to do the best that you can, just to help them, right? To help them. You're not trying to hurt them, to help them. But there still be someone will see the negativity. There's going to be someone, there always has been. Someone that won't see, and because he's in pain, so he or she will bring some negative stuff. And I feel we all have been this way. Me, even sometimes. I feel like when I'm hearing something and I just start judging that person because I am not happy with something. And I'm like, I don't know their lives. I don't know relationship, I don't know why I start judging. I'm assuming that, oh, it's the husband, whatever, And I feel like it's this husband, I wanted to say all this time, this husband, or one of them, that she emailed to Bella about like how lucky your husband is to have you. That I wish my wife will understand me the way you understand us. And you, husband, I thank you for that reminder. I thank you so much for that reminder. Because, sometimes we take it for granted. We know we have it. We know we'll have it. So we get used to it. We got comfortable. And then we are doing something else. Because we know we have it and we go away. Instead of like waking up every single morning. And then, isn't it like, it would be amazing that you wake up every single morning and then you got that woman of your dreams by your side, or you got the man of your dreams by your side? How will you feel? Husband, when was the last time that you wake up before your wife on your rest day, if you have rest days, bring some coffee to your wife and they say, honey, would you like some coffee? Or would you like some tea? Or anything. Just something that she did not expect it. And you just look at her face. How much her face is like, wow, what's going on? And just let her say how she's feeling. Something. But also don't expect something back. Because if you want to do something and you're expecting something back, please don't do it. Please don't do it, because you're going to hurt her. Because when you're expecting something back and you're not getting it, your words are going to come out. They want to come out in the wrong time, and you're going to say hurtful things. Because your wife hasn't do these things that you're expecting to have, because you're expecting that. If you want to do it, because this is your wife. Isn't like your wife that you cherish her, you go with her. If she's in pain, you taking care of her. For her to feel like, thank you so much for taking care of me last night because I was in pain. Or thank you for taking care of the kids. Or thank you for cleaning. I feel like we men should never get tired. When I have my 2 jobs, I work, early. I come home really late. And, my wife was having some hard times. So I get up before her or with her. Even though I am so tired. Because I wasn't expecting something back. Because otherwise I'll be just complaining. And we're here to listen to our wives. And I feel like the same as some wives that I see are not ready to listen, and sometimes I see like in both ways, even on our marriage or on our friends, how, sometimes they say of their husbands, it's like, oh, he's out of shape. He can't play. He's out of shape. I know they're just kidding. I know they're joking. But I tell my wife, like, please don't say those things to me, even if you're joking. Because I feel like, I am fat. And I'm like, really? How a wife will feel like if their husbands will say those things? Oh, my wife is out of shape. She can't run this far, whatever. How would your wife will feel like if the husband will say those words?
Did I say those words to you?
You don't say those words to me.
You just
No,
clear.
my wife doesn't say those words to me. The reason why I say that is because I hear some of our friends, some people that we know, that we said. No, I feel like, no, my wife is like constantly, sometimes she says, I love you so much that you don't know how much I love you. And I feel the same way. I feel like, like it's just this morning when I said, like, sometimes you tell me that you love me, that I had no idea how much you love me. And I feel the same way. I only trust that you love me. And I said, you can't compare how much I love you, because I love you more. And all those things. Sometimes I do other things. It's like, oh, honey, thank you so much. I really appreciate those things and what you did or said to me. And, just to be clear, all those things about my wife, none of them say that to me. And sometimes when we have some discussion, and I mean, not arguments, some serious conversation, we are aware of we're not trying to hurt each other. We are not trying to hurt each other, but we're trying to find what happened. As painful as it is, we had to find out what happened. And she's always calmly and, encouraging. And, I love to hear when I say, like, I made a mistake. I apologize. I'm sorry. And then, when my wife says, like, it's okay, I forgive you. And I feel like personally, I feel like, okay, I still have my wife back. Something like that. I don't know how to describe. I don't know. Just sometimes I feel like for all your husbands, I feel your pain. Because I've been there for so many years that you feel like there is no way to get out. Especially divorce start coming up. You don't focus about anything. You're not focusing about serving your wife. Absolutely not. You're trying to it's kind of like you focus about how to take revenge. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like you're taking revenge. Like, what is it that she's getting it? What is it that she's, I'm getting it? So I can't, I don't know. Or wives, think about this revenge. And I'm like, what good is going to come out for that? I'll guarantee nothing. I'll guarantee nothing will come out. It will be just you guys are arguing all the time. Friends that not want to talk to each other, families that you spend that for years. I feel like if you, I would encourage you just talk to Bella, see how you feel. And I don't know, it's I don't know what to say, but just to see how you feel. If she understands, and if you're ready to make that step, do what you have to do. If you feel like she understands you, if you feel like you understand where you're coming from, and then if you don't feel like that, and then you the good thing is you're looking for help. That's a good thing. Looking for that way, you're looking for help. Mine is not having that. You're looking for help, and that is very, very good to acknowledge that. See how you're feeling it. But if you're not, if you don't think you feel comfortable or anything like that, find somewhere else that they might be able to help you even more. But I believe that she, I don't understand how she understand me. I don't. This husband says, like, how do you understand us? Like, the way that we think and how we do and what we said.
Isn't he amazing? All right. Well, I am so grateful that you tuned in and you listened in this week. I want to invite you, if you are a husband or a wife, I've been doing clarity calls actually for wives now for about several months, and they've just been so fulfilling and so wonderful to really speak one-on-one with you, to hear your story and hear where you're coming from and where you want to go. And kind of throughout that conversation, I'm trying to discern, okay, is this someone that I can really help and that I want to feel like they're the right fit for one of my programs. And if that's the case, then I may invite them and I may, process with them what that would look like. And, if not, they get a ton of clarity. And by God's grace, women on those calls with me leave thinking through things that they never have before. And I have had that feedback before. And I also am careful because there's not everyone that I feel my program's the right fit for. And so I try to be really careful about who and when I offer something to the particular person and what I'm offering to them, if it's really going to be the right fit for them and their situation. Now, it's really cool. I have just been, given such good, how do I describe it? God has done so much with my work. So I want to just share with you what he's done. Is the podcast has been awarded 19th of the top 30 relationship podcasts out there. So that's amazing. And I work with therapists, and some of these therapists actually coach other marriages, or they work with other marriages on other aspects of their marriages. And, I've been consulted by sex therapists to receive advice for their clients. And my materials are used with licensed sex therapists with their own clients. And, I'm just so grateful. Today, someone I'm working with, she's a licensed therapist, and she's like, you are really good. And I was really honored because she's the type of person that doesn't just give out compliments. So it's really amazing what God does. And I say all that because I want you to have a little bit of backing behind what my husband just shared and some of the advice that's on this podcast. By God's grace, it is changing lives. And you can have hope that your marriage can transform. And so what I want to do is open these clarity calls to not just women, but also men, because right now I'm actually accepting men into a pilot program of Masculinity Reclaimed. Be respected, enjoy fierce intimacy, and love being married again. That's what this program is called, and that's really the focus is to help men really understand what is repelling their wives from wanting to make love, and instead what is going to motivate her and bring her to a place where she wants to make love. She is enjoying the whole experience, and how do you make it enjoyable and exciting for her? And where are the breakdowns of communication between the two of you, and how do you get your marriage on the right path? So this is a phenomenal pilot program. It's definitely the lowest investment it'll ever be, but I want to make sure it's the right fit for you. So if you go to www.dym.as.me, you and I can get on a call and we can chat through, is this the right fit for you? And that's, again, a free 40-minute call where I can speak with you about this potential and chat through the challenges you're having and see if this is the right thing to really transform what's going on for you. God bless you. I hope that you have a phenomenal rest of your day and that this was an encouragement for you. I want to pray for you before we go. Lord, whoever is listening on the other end of this line, I ask that this would be encouraging and inspiring. And thank you so much for my husband. And thank you for his heart for the people that are listening, that we and he prays for them all the time. And I just ask, God, that you would honor those prayers and change lives, change hearts, change the wives back to the husband, change the husbands back to the wives, Lord. Honor those marriage commitments, those vows, God. In Jesus' name, we pray for change. In Jesus' name, we thank you for all that you're doing all over the world, that you are causing that change to happen. I pray that you would continue to do it. Amen. Alrighty, I will talk to you next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening. If you've been blessed by this, why not share it? Until next time, live with love, wisdom, and passion.